Yay.
All right, just to see if anybody can confirm that we are live to the world.
Let me refresh this and I will find out.
And if the chat is there and wants to confirm, that would be wonderful as well.
We're live to the world, and I'm froze up.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Hey, everybody.
We are live. It looks like there's a slight delay, but that's okay.
Yeah, there'll be a delay. I don't know why he got frozen, but let's all freeze.
Oh, no, I think I'm unfrozen. Okay.
Yeah, we got an Equinox saying we're live. Great. So we'll hope
Great. Yay.
Patriot Prime gets it sorted. But hey, welcome to the live stream. We're going to talk about converters today. This was put together by our buddy Avon. Sam. Is inspired by Avon and is liberators.net, which is a wealth of information. But Sam Ford put this together. He's so up there as Dinobot, TM2 Dinobot. And we've got a few other people that are going to be popping in and out. And we are going to talk about our favorite unloved but very influential toy line, the Converters, and its influence on us and what we know about it, you know. We have another guy who has dropped out, but when he comes back in, we will do that. But if you guys might know me, JoshB, I'm from CollectionDX, and I've been running that site for a long time. I used to do this live crap all the time, and now I don't. I just use my hands on pre-recorded things, and I love dumb, cheap robots. And if you guys want, I can throw it to you, Sam, and you can introduce yourself, and we can kind of go round table there.
Hi, I'm Sam Ford, Transmil2 Dinobot. I have been in the robot loving community for many a year, and I am currently working on a revival for Converters. It's in the very early stages, but I figured we should get everybody together and see if there's some interest in this and, you know, see where we can go from here. And I'm just really glad to be here, and I'm glad to see everybody present, and it's going to be a great time.
And we appreciate you having us, Sam. Thanks for putting this all together. Very cool.
Thank you for being here.
Dan Mantis99s. I make little videos about Select Converters for 15 plus years. And I also love all these weird little odd bots.
Well, I guess it's up to me. Hey, What's going on, guys? Patriot Prime here. You guys may know me from YouTube. Big Transformers fan. I've been doing YouTube for about 8 years now. Really into Generation 1. Love the modern figures as well. Just recently started collecting GoBots, and I'm really enjoying those guys because as a Transformer fan, you know, we always crapped on GoBots for years, and now I'm regretting it. They're actually pretty cool figures. Now, as far as the Converters go, I didn't have a huge collection of those, but I had a couple before the Transformers completely took over. And just like these guys, I love these plastic and die-cast robots. There's just so much nostalgia and joy that these little figures give me. And I just really enjoy sharing my joy with you guys, the audience. And got to give you all a big shout out. Thank you so much for inviting me. Just totally out of the blue. And I appreciate it. I love meeting new people via YouTube.
So do we want to just explain what converters are, right? People may not know, right? We're assuming there's context, but how do we explain what converters are?
I can actually take this one. So converters were a toy. Yeah, converters were a toy line primarily from Japan that Select merchandise imported in the 80s in the same way that that Hasbro partnered with Takara to bring over Transformers, in the same way that Tonka partnered with Bandai to bring over GoBots. Select partnered with a Japanese company called Mark to bring over a various array of transforming robot toys. And it ran decently well. I mean, when you tally up the amount of releases and the number of figures released, Converters comes in solidly at number 3 in the Robot Wars. You had Transformers, you had GoBots, you had Converters, and then there were others like, you know, Zybots and a few other companies, but Converters had a decent number of releases, and it ran for between 3 and 4 years, depending on how you want to count it. They were still releasing them into 87, but I think that was old stock, not new shipments.
Yeah.
And they were really great, and they were aimed more at a budget audience. And the wonderful thing about Converters to me is that they said, okay, we've got Transformers with comics and a TV show. We've got GoBots with a TV show. Why do we need to do anything? Let's just throw the robots out there. And if they're a good enough price, people will buy them and put them with their other collections. And that's kind of what happened. That was their business model.
And they did.
And
Yep.
Transformers were expensive, like back then. Like, so
Yeah.
you go to the store, you're with your parents, you want a Transformer, can't afford that. You want a Converters, that we can do, you know? And so that's how I ended up a lot of mine. It was like, my parents didn't have a lot of money, and it was a very good impulse buy that would keep me happy. And then inevitably it would break shortly thereafter because they were not as durable as, at least a lot of them weren't as durable as, you know, Transformers or GoBots or things like that. So they did always get broken, at least in my experience, but that's what makes, to me, the ones that survived, you know, almost more precious, because they've lasted all of this time through and survived that brittle blue Japanese plastic that just disintegrates in your hands when you look at it weird. It's just really cool.
I think the blue Japanese plastic is stronger than the gold plastic that the Transformers used.
You know, yeah, true. You know, like that, at least the blue plastic lasted for a period of time before breaking. The Transformers stuff went right to hell, as far as I know. But
Well, and the Converters were always at the bottom of the toy box, getting ground down by all the more valuable stuff piling on top of it. So that's the
Right.
rareness.
oh, my Godaken diecast just crushed them. You know.
You know what's really
I'm not
ironic
going to
is
plead
that-
poverty, but definitely as a rural Indiana kid, if my parents were going to get me something, it was not going to be in the fancy Transformers box. It was going to be off a peg. It was going to be cheap, colorful, and I ended up with a lot of those, obviously.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of, like, not even real Converters. Like, there was knockoffs of the Converters that ended up at flea markets and things. I ended up with more of those than anything. There was a fair in New Hampshire called the Deerfield Fair, and there was always, like, you know, agriculture things and whatever, but there was always like one or two things with just crap for kids, you know? And I would always find like the knockoff GoBots in the silver boxes, the police car and the space shuttle, and then the version of Whirl, but it's just a knockoff of a knockoff, so the mold's all crappy. But like those are the ones that I got more than the actual Converters, you know. But I fell in love with those molds, and when I got adults, I just got to start researching this, like, where did these come from, basically, and thus the lifelong obsession that ends up where we are today.
Well, and that's it. When you talk about the molds, I mean, all the properties that they did, like Macross and everything, these were the cheapest level of Japanese toy. So when they were licensed out, they cranked these things out on the bootleg market, which is why a lot of people don't realize there is a difference between a Select Converter and all the other knockoffs, at least in terms of some basic quality. I'm not going to say these are incredibly dense, good plastic, but the stickers are good.
So I don't know if we want to jump into like the history before Converters, right? Like, where did the things that became Converters, where did they come from? That's where I've done a lot of digging and where I sort of focus more of my collecting. You know, we've seen a lot of toys that have Mark stamped on the inside of them as they're released, and we also see some that see Takatoku, right? And where this whole story starts is with the company Takatoku Toys in Japan, and they were an early licensee of shows like Apatsuman and different like obscure Japanese things, and they were their first licensee for Macross, right? So the original Valkyries that became Jetfire were first made by Takatoku, then Bandai, and then, you know, and so on and so forth. So Takatoku had like a cheaper toy division that they did like the Keshi erasers and little puzzles and things, and that spun off to the company Mark. but they kept the licensing agreement with Takatoku, so they produced toys under license to them for shows like Dorvac, Macross.
I was wondering where I was knew the name Takatoku Toys from.
Sauce Rigger.
I did a Whirl video not too long ago, and I was like, that's where I researched that. I remember that name.
Yeah, exactly. So that company, there were two brothers that worked for them, and when Takatoku folded at some point, the stuff they were working on, all those molds like existed, but some of that stuff had not come out yet. So Mark took it over, and things that we saw as like the avians and the insectobots and things like that were stuff that was being worked on, I think, beginning with the Beatrice line, which was supposed to have a cartoon, and it never did. It got folded. But that stuff became the stuff that Mark made. And they went on for a while producing cheap alternative toys to, there was always like usually a counterpart that was like a deluxe version that was the night, like Roadbuster, right? In Japan was from Dorvac and the Mugen Caliber. Very nice deluxe piece. But the one plastic one that Mark got, that was like the train station toy, the impulse buy cheap thing for kids. And at some point, and this is where Sam, you might come in, at some point, they exported that stuff through Select to the US and became Converters. But that legacy still lives on in a weird way in Japan, because those guys went on to form partially the brothers split up and went on to form Jam, I think. So you might see some Converter stuff, Mark stuff re-released under Jam, and then Wing. And it goes down to a company that still exists today called The Access. And it's actually the nephew of a guy, I think.
It wasn't Wing, it was Hero.
Hero.
So
I always get
Wing,
Wing,
Jam,
Hero,
went to Hero, and then Hero went to Access.
I always get Wing, Hero, and Jam like all like mushed up the same thing. But yeah, it's just weird lineage of things that have such a weird circumstance of things had to happen. I have this book, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, the B Robot book. This is amazing, because it goes through the history of like all of them, and it starts with, it starts with the Access, which is kind of weird because that's the newest one. But they got a converter section, and what's weird is that even so, they released Hero and Jam at the same time. Were releasing toys. They both had access to the Mark molds, but some of them still had the Select stamps on them being released under them.
Yeah, it's really weird. Just like it's almost incestuous. Some of the companies that how they worked and how molds went, and you look at the variations of molds that are just coming on, like even those bird robos that go the way like through several different mutations and different companies and different packaging. It's just so fascinating to unpack like what came first and what came next. And so the things that I collect a lot of are like exactly like the original like Mark packaging Japanese stuff. Like, we didn't get a green one of these. We did get one?
Yeah, I got one on card.
Nice. I've never seen the green one on card. Not on purpose. Not on purpose, not that I remember. But that's the thing about being old, is that you do this for so long, you forget stuff, right? And like I've got the toys that I have, and I go like, oh, I haven't seen this before, and I buy it. And you come home and you're like, oh, I have it already. I don't even know. It happens with these things all the time too. Like I find one of these in a while and go like, oh, I don't know if I have that one. I have
to say that's the thing I enjoy about this line, because something like Transformers, it's so exhaustively studied and understood, every iteration, and with some of these toys, it's still a mystery. Who knows? Yeah. There's stuff all the time that I come across that I'm like, I've never seen that version of it. I love the Robat that has the Batman head. Great stuff.
One part of the mystery I'm still trying to unpack is like what actually happened to Mark toys. Like I know they folded at some point. I've read bankruptcy. I've read tax problems. And then.
So the brothers had a falling out. I do not know why they had a falling out, but they had a falling out at a same point in time where they had some legal monetary issues. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if it was a tax problem. I'm not sure if it was, I don't think it was bankruptcy. Okay. But they had a falling out for some reason. Why? I don't know. But one of them took the assets and the other one took the assets, and they just basically kind of shared. And I think Jam did the most re-releasing of the Mark and Select molds. and Hero went on to start releasing their own things, well, I don't remember if they released Plan 9 Survival. I think that's who released that. And I could get to it, but I don't want to talk without.
We can do an hour on the Wing, Jam, Hero,
right,
Maruka.
I've talked to the Wing guys. They're really cool. They're not related to this whatsoever, but I mean, they're really nice guys.
That's stuff that still has discovery for me. Like when you've been collecting for a long time, and you go to these, like for me, like I love a lot of Popey stuff, the Bandai stuff, the Takara, and when I go on, eBay, Yahoo Japan, I'm rarely surprised by the stuff I see anymore. But when stuff like that comes up from these cheap toy lines that I've never seen before, like I lose my mind, and I'm like, I need that.
I found the last released Mark toy. It was released in 1987. Now Mark went out of business in 86, and this somehow got released in 87. And it was a Converters credit card, like a train card, rail pass card.
Okay.
And they released 3 of them, and I've only found photos of one of them that I know for sure got released. But it was like, I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh. Like you just keep finding this stuff, and in one hand, it's great because you're like, it's this adventure and this exploration. You get to discover all this new stuff. And on the other, you're like, I'm never going to get a cohesive list of this. I'm going to go insane.
Right. And then like 4-Star was another one too, that like I went down that rabbit hole to see all that stuff, and Mr. Hard Hat and all those things. And it just never ends. So I've been getting a lot of the stuff that the Axis is still making now. I think I reviewed a set of they make all the toys for aquariums now, and I have this clear set of like an orca and like a shark and everything, like, and I haven't opened yet, but I have a set of these 2 beetles that turn into robots that are still pretty, within the last like 5 or 10 years.
I gotta stop you for 1 second. You said Hard Hat. Was that a Constructicon type?
Yeah, it was it was a knockoff of like Devastator, but retooled. It's called Mr. Hard Hat,
and it had Jetfire's head.
Yeah.
I had that. You maybe hit a member berry.
Oh, that's amazing.
Everyone thinks
like a Rite Aid.
Mr. Hard Hat was a knockoff of the Constructicons, but they like don't share any engineering. It's just like
it's completely different vehicles, if I remember correctly.
Inspired by, but a lot of 4-Star stuff was inspired by. I think did I grab one of them? I think I might have one over here. Like well, that's not one.
Oh my God, I haven't thought of that thing in years.
Yeah, they're
Google
are super tough to get. This is a 4-Star. This guy. So it's like it sort of shares DNA with that GoBot. The arms are the same, but it's got like a friction wheel motor, and it's entirely.
Gosh, I didn't have that.
Entirely different. Oh, now I can't get the head up. That's also the problem with these old things is they don't. They're like us old guys. Is the things just don't work as well as they used to.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Fun stuff.
I had the. Oh my God. Whole thing was $19.99 back in the day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Nostalgia just.
My buddy Vincent is in the chat. I don't know if anybody knows this. Were the Avarians part of any line? Like Beatrust was meant to be an animated series, and it never got off the ground. And some of the toys weren't even released. But were the Avarians that way? They seem similar aesthetically, but I think those might just have been toys for toys' sake at that point.
I don't know. I'm going to check the liberator.net and see what he has to say.
Yeah, they could have been. Yeah, they could have been enemies to Beatrust that just weren't released. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Like some of this stuff is unfortunately just going to be lost to time. Like these decisions about why things were made the way they were, why they were distributed the way they were. Like, who knows? Like, and again, like the people that made these decisions are probably dead at this point. A lot of
that's
them.
the problem I've been running up against with Select is when I'm trying to research this stuff to get it back out there. Like almost everybody who worked for the company has passed on, unfortunately. And in the case of the main guy who owned the largest portion of it, his son has also passed on. So I had to deal with his grandsons, and they were like, I don't know anything.
Well, shit, look at the kids who played with all these toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, look at us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, turning 53 next week.
Happy birthday.
The converter that turned into so Frank's talking about a converter, the Blue Bird. Is that guy?
Rex, the leader of the Avarians.
Yeah.
That is for my money, hands down the best converter. He for being 1985, he is more articulated than anything Hasbro would release until Beast Wars.
But all the loose ones do this. Like they don't stand up for anything.
Put a little kiki on it and it goes away. Like that it's easy to fix.
I don't know. Kind of seems like the principle to me. It's like gluing.
Or
like,
what I use, and I've been using for years.
Yeah, I've heard that works.
They don't make this anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you put a little bit of pledge on the joints and it gets a little tight. I just worry about the
long-term
effects of that, you know? Like,
oh, it lasts forever. At least so far, I've fixed GoBots, many Transformers, little Q-tip on the joint or a little toothpick down in the hole, little drop down the hole, work it in, let it set overnight, good to go.
Feathers is a good one. Feathers, you got to be careful when transforming feathers because the back of the bird foot goes into the knee. And if you try and shove that leg up into the torso while it's in there, you'll snap the heel off.
Any of those sliding mechanisms are so brittle at this point.
One of the things I did like about converters is how they made factions, and they made that as a way to like group like robots together, you know? So you did have all the birds were kind of one, all the insects were kind of one, all the cars were kind of one.
Well, it also, unlike Transformers or GoBots, they had actually 3 factions from the start. You had the Maladroids, you had the Defenders, and you had the Spies. And they stuck around forever. I mean, the Spies weren't just a one-off thing. And it just sort of added to this lore, what lore there was of it, you know? Speaking of, I don't know where they pulled them out from. The Axis, the last thing that they've released recently is the Converter Spy molds.
Oh, really?
And it's the same one.
First series or second series? Like the binoculars series. Or like
it's focus and zoom and gun.
Wait, so they've
series.
They re-released them. They retooled the heads on them and re-released them in different colors.
There's still metal in them?
No.
Okay.
They're
same scale and everything, like same
scale. I've swapped some parts over. They're interchangeable.
All right, I got to track those down then, you know, because honestly, like, where is it? My camera robo is a piece of crap. I mean, I think they all were, but like this thing was. Do
you have the light bar?
No, this one's incomplete. I have one in the box somewhere, but like this one is just my loose beater one that I don't even turn into anything because it's garbage. But I had this garbage when I was a kid, so like I'm on it, you know.
It's your garbage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, again, like, you know, I didn't have a lot of money. My parents didn't, so like a lot of my collections when I was a kid was we used to have a store in New Hampshire called Pips. And it was a discount store, right? And I remember going there as a kid, and there would be like a big circular bin, and they had Star Wars figures in the plastic baggies, like for like 25 cents a piece. And then there was a wall of robots on the corner. So this is probably like 1985, 86 or something like that. And they had like the knockoff Omega Supreme, but it was like a black and red. It was based on the original, but still
the Omegatron one.
Yeah, they had a Perceptor they were all like based on like the Diaclone ones or the whatever they were, but they were clearly knockoffs, and they had a lot of this stuff too. And that was like, I didn't go to like Kmart or like I went there, and that's like where my parents did Christmas shopping. So I just got so much of this stuff that some were converters proper, but a lot of them were just not, you know. And the world that opened up when I became an adult collector and saw like, oh, not all of what like Mark produced got released as converters. There's so much more cool stuff that like it was just a rabbit hole to go down to just track it down.
You guys are going to make me go on eBay after this.
I'm sorry that I have driven up the prices in the last couple of years. Yeah, I started getting into it, you know, because during COVID, everyone's like, oh, I got to collect stuff. I got money, you know, I'm not working. And so I'm like, oh, I should get into GoBots because I can't afford G1 Transformers at this point. The market's insane, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can't afford GoBots either. And so I start looking around. I'm like, well, here's converters, and nobody seems to remember these. And they're just that perfect sweet spot where they're famous enough that people know the name of them because they all fall under one brand, but they're not so famous that everybody on the street knows what they are.
Yeah, like everybody had one. When they see it, they go, "Oh, I had that."
Yes,
but
yes.
Nobody could tell you what it was.
Yes.
To me, that's the most rewarding part about putting those videos up is when, you know, and it's not like I get the kind of views that you guys get, but every once in a while there's that comment where somebody's like, "Oh my God, thank you for posting this. I
Childhood
found
memory
this in my closet," or whatever else it is, or, you know, they remember a childhood memory from it, and that makes my day.
So we had a little list of things, and one of the things I liked was like was it the most overrated, most underrated, or like what like the best and worst of like that line? Do you guys have picks for like what you would think is like the best one they put out, or your favorite one, and one that like is just hot garbage? Yeah, do it.
A lot of them are hot garbage, if we're honest, but in terms of what I like,
but there's garbage and then there's garbage.
All right, my absolute favorite, and the only one that I know or I own, is a Creeper.
Nice.
Love this figure. I remember when I got him, it was at the little department, maybe a Hills department store. It's back before the Transformers came out. But I love the collar scheme on this guy with the black and the blue and the glorious chrome that he has. I mean, the chrome rifle, the chrome head. When you transform him into the bug, he's got the chrome beetle head. And this was actually the leader of my bad guy robots until I got Megatron.
I've actually never had that one. I am unfortunately not a completist with converters, but I do grab them whenever I can. And I've never had that one. They should track it down.
But I recently picked this one up off eBay, I want to say last year maybe. Talking to like you guys, somebody triggered a memory, and I was like, I need to find that figure because I loved him so much as a kid. Got this one, and he is damn near perfect, like he came right out of the package. So this one I love. I just have so many memories attached to that figure.
One of my favorite things is when I look on eBay and all these figures of Sunyak that they have, who was the leader of the Maladroids, the bad guys, how many of them have stickers from the 1980s that are Decepticon logos right on the chest?
Right.
And it's great because it's like you can see the kid doing it, and you're like, I know what he did, and I see what he did. That said, I kind of think Sunyak is probably the most overrated. You kind of have to have one because he's the leader of the bad guys, but the toy's not great, and they made 1 billion of them.
I will say that's an awkward like transformation too. I mean, he really just kind of goes like this and puts his legs up, and
that's based on the Orgus
Night Kick,
right? Yeah.
Night Kick.
Yeah. Which like as a kid, you're like, what the hell is this? It's not a spaceship. But even the Orgoroid, like, what does this become? I have no idea.
Right.
But at least it has like even a couple modes within that cheap toy. They have little things that you can kind of simulate it, but
technically it does that the Night Kick does have 3 modes, but they're just all like, what is this? You know?
I kind of wanted to see that. You remember that Generations Stealth Bomber Megatron that Hasbro did a couple years back for Throwing 30? I wanted to see that repainted as Night Kick, but they never did it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or not Sunyak.
Hey, they don't even do GoBots over there.
Yeah.
So I've got a
GoBots is interesting from what I've researched is that when GoBots split up, I think Transformers got the GoBot names.
Mm-hmm.
Hanna-Barbera has the cartoon likeness, and Bandai still owns the figures.
Yeah,
so there's no way, because everybody's like, I wish Hasbro remake GoBots. I'm like, they can't. That's why they keep taking their existing figures and giving them GoBot names.
They can do 4 of them. Right. They can do the Wendy's ones. Hasbro owns the Wendy's GoBots straight up.
Yeah. That's why I jumped back into Machine Robo, I think, because I go into the source.
Damn, I cannot wait for a masterpiece of that guy.
That'd be amazing. You kidding me?
So his arms in sticking out of the middle of his head.
So I think my favorite converters will probably surprise you a little bit.
The what is that one?
They're block robos, and they had a whole line of these that were just
Thunder.
Like erasers, that just the puzzles that go together. And I had I think the helicopter one when I was a kid, and This is the Japanese one, and I tracked it down, and like I love this thing. I'll sit here and like take this thing apart and put it together, and it just makes me so happy. And
question: do you know does his head go somewhere when he's in tank mode?
Yeah, he does go in. It does go in. I can't remember where, but yeah, it does go in. I forget where.
Okay, because I couldn't figure out where to put it.
I will have to dig up my instructions because I haven't taken him out of this mode in about 10 years. But but yeah, I think it does go in like between like the legs or something like that. When it's in robot mode, it plugs into the back. There's a hole it goes into. But yeah, I think it does.
But I could never figure it out. So
I'll have to look. I think I reviewed it. I might have done it back then. Oh, and then it just hit the ground. But that's the thing about it being rubber is it's fine. You know, the one I hate the most, and it's not because it's a bad toy, but it's because it was such potential. And these guys.
Oh, the super defenders.
Yeah, they're just not good. They don't look good. They don't hold good, and they're some of the rarer ones, I think, at least in Japan. But yeah, those did not get released in Japan. And so if you're a fan of I think
Galvian,
yeah, I think they did get released. I've seen them in Japanese boxes. I think
Jam released them without.
Oh yeah, maybe not as Mark, but I think they have been released.
But they changed the color for them. So if you want the anime color, it's the American release.
You know, Motoroid did
I may be wrong on that
version of those, from the original mecha that are very cool. I've almost pulled the trigger on those many times as like a masterpiece Select Converters video kind of thing, but they're cool designs. But you're right, those are some trash toys.
Yeah, and the other one I don't have in front of me, but the I don't even know where it came from. It's that bulldozer, the Jumbo Defender.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
that one.
That one, like I searched for that thing forever to find a nice one, and I got it. It has the gun and everything, and instantly broke. I'm so excited to get this. And the little clips that hold the little legs together in front just disintegrated. I'm like, well, that sucks. Now it won't ever stand again.
It's the cheap plastic and metal interface that is always trouble.
Yeah, it's not.
What I would love to know about him is he's got the sigil of a buffalo, of a water buffalo on his chest.
Right.
He's got buffalo written on him in like 4 places, and his name is Bull. Why? Whose idea was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of weird translations happened during that time that just, obviously there's a thing where like putting things in English was cool, but they didn't really check like if it made any sense, So that I think that's a lot of what happens.
Dan, what's your favorites? Like, you've been doing this for converters longer than most of us.
Well, I saw somebody in the chat shouted out Tilt, and I think the little functional toy gimmick ones have a good place in my heart. I think from a toy perspective, I love the Train, which is the mecha from Josh would know the correct pronunciation, but it's like Sauce Rigger or something.
Oh, Sauce Rigger, yep.
Sauce Rigger.
And it's a really clever transformation. It reminds me a lot of like a Machine Robo or a GoBot. I always come back to that one. It's good like hand candy. But in terms of ones I like, it's hard to pick because they are all fantastic. And stuff like Dorvac. I mean, where were you going to find Dorvac? This is like the only version of this ever made other than I think maybe one Chogokin. So from a mecha collection, I love the Dorvac mold.
I had the weirdest toy of that. I found it was like a Taiwan bootleg, and it was a large size, like literally like this big remote control version of that in like dark green. And it was the weirdest thing because it was exactly that, but I've never seen it again. I've never seen it for sale again. And it's wild that like.
Did it transform?
It transformed and everything. It was
so weird.
Yeah.
Was it like a mechanized transformation, like one of these guys?
No. It was like RC. It was like remote control. And I have that Daijim.
It's a bootleg.
That was a Yonezawa toy called Daijim. That I loved that piece. That the version you have. I had it as a kid. I still have it.
Me too.
of the appreciation I have for that now. I thought it was dumb when it was a kid. Like, this is now I love
it. Is dumb.
The chrome claws and the missile launcher on the shoulder.
You know, that's bringing that up. That's one of my favorite things about converters is number one, they're all roughly the same size. I mean, they're all basically like what we would consider Legends class, like 4-inch figures. You get some big ones like Bull or you know, Daijin if you want to throw him in the collection.
And then the Hot Wheels size one.
And the Hot Wheels size ones. I mean, they're roughly, you know, you got 2 scale sizes, right? You got the mini bot size and you got the deluxe size. But they all have like vac metal chrome heads almost. And they fit, like, it makes them seem like they're in the same universe, the same toy line. It's really great, and I love it. And, you know, if you want to pull that out into 4-star and throw those in the collection, they all have vac metal heads too. And it just, I don't know why, but that's like one of the, kind of like how Mask had, you know, their feature was having masks, right? Well, it's like almost like these have a unifying feature of they all have vac metal heads. And I don't know why, that's just kind of neat to me, and I like that.
And I love whatever they made these stickers of.
Magic.
I don't understand how the stickers are always so good, even on
40 years later. Yeah.
Like, you know, this guy's beat up. Look at this one. This one is trashed,
right?
But the stickers, shiny, beautiful. I got a blur on, sorry, but you can still see.
I put a link
look at him.
Chat of the Super Robo car from Mark of the Galvion car. I knew I wasn't hallucinating it. And it's on theliberator.net. Of course it is, right? As is everything cool. And
shout out.
Obscure robots for sure.
Yeah, he's probably asleep right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll wake up to a lot of tags and things.
Yeah, a lot of people hitting up this site.
Yeah, hey, well, my traffic just jumped up for my
thanks to him today, I realized that was not a GoBot Slicks. That's the Pepsi version.
Ah.
The Imperial one? Yeah. That Imperial story is kind of wild because both Imperial and Tonka thought they owned the rights to GoBots.
The machine robo of that explodes when you look at it. Like, plastic in that is so brittle that it's always you have to find one in the box unopened to really find one that's not damaged. Because
the Slicks version?
Yeah, the Japanese version. It has fat rubber tires and it's yellow and black a little bit more, but something about it is so brittle, it is always broken.
Okay.
I think the yellow and the black's the US version. The machine robot, I thought that was this one. Because a buddy of mine went to a vintage toy store in Ohio.
Old and forgetting stuff? Because that sucks.
Well, I just learned today because he was at a vintage toy store and he showed me a picture of the 3 GoBots that they had, and they had Slicks, but he was mostly black. And I said, that's the one I need because I have the machine robo version.
It's the yellow one with the fat tires. That's the machine robo, and that one explodes. See, again, like, I don't know why you guys have me on this. I forget everything. When I write, I can write shit down and then, you know, not be on the spot and forget everything.
Well, see, I haven't been able to talk about converters. You just haven't mentioned Liberator, which led into GoBots. 7 degrees of GoBots.
Right. I know. It's so easy to get off tangent with this stuff.
Well, I got to say, on terms of the topics, one thing that I definitely wanted to get into this was, I don't know how rare it is. I mean, I know it's rare, but the one that has always eluded me and that I want so bad is, his name is Bong, first of all, and he's a yo-yo.
Oh, wow.
It's the dumbest looking robot. They're all broken because it was a yo-yo and it was a cheap yo-yo. So you can imagine these things just being smashed and spun around. I mean, I know that's what I would have done, but if anybody out there ever that sees this has and I want to be careful how I phrase this, a Select Converters Yobot Bong, I would love to buy it.
I've seen this in its Japanese packaging on Yahoo Japan several times, and I've passed on it, and I had forgotten that there was a Converters version of it. I wonder if I should just grab the Japanese one next time I see it.
You should. The Japanese ones are pretty rare too. Here's how I know that Bong is the rarest converter. Is I've been like, this is how much of a life I don't have. I've been hunting eBay for converters like every day for 5 years. Okay, like that's just my hobby at this point. I've seen carded basically about everything. I've not seen a carded Zardak, but that's not Zardak doesn't show up. I've never seen a bong, and I have never ever seen anyone take a picture of a carded bong, which means they must have not have made as many, because in fact you can find other converters on card and they didn't open them. Bong should follow, like there should be some out there on card somewhere. Like, okay, sure, you open it and it breaks, right? So there's no loose ones. Where's the carded ones? I've never seen it. I've never heard of anybody having one. I don't think does Liberator even have a carded one?
He has a picture of the card.
Yeah, they have
so he doesn't have it on the card. Yeah. Bong would be like my number one choice. Probably my number two choice would be Zark, or the red Zark, the Zardak, or the all red Zark. I'm going to show you this. So here.
That is wild. I've never seen the yo-yo one before. I just said
it kind of reminds me of alpha bots in a way.
Oh, they're falling off. They're very rare. Don't do that.
It's very alpha bot.
Yeah. All right. So
speaking of which,
that's the red Zark, right? And
right.
so it's just like a repaint of that one. Here is super rare one. That's an all red one, right? But it's not just they swapped out the parts. She's got red wings. This one has the silver wings. And I don't know why. And this is like one of the last releases or something. She's got a green chest. This one's got a blue chest. It's just, it's super. And I've seen two of these. Actually, I've seen two online, and I own this one. I don't know. I would love to see this on card. I don't know. It's wild how some of this stuff just doesn't show up.
I'm going to throw you back to Alphabot for a minute. You guys should get your ass over to Hobby Lobby, because they have these for like $10 there. Like, and they're the modern ones that make their combiners that, this number.
Yeah. See you guys. I'm headed to Hobby Lobby.
It's like, oh, nice.
A buddy of mine sent me these. It's just this horrible KO Dinobot thing. I don't know if he's still. Hold on. I mean, it's so awful. It's glorious.
And this is the stuff that still makes, like, I still go to like dollar stores and like flea market, like hoping to find like this kind of knockoff stuff. And there was a time when like Brave series knockoffs were everywhere, and like Bayformers and Super Sentai knockoffs are anywhere. The only things I find now, like in the wild, are like that Metal Carbot line for the Korean line. Like I sometimes see knockoffs of that. But like, it's just out of vogue now. Nobody's it's all knockoff Pokemon.
I don't find toys anymore. Like my Walmart almost stopped carrying toys entirely. Like knockoffs are not.
It is just how it's going, And we touched on this briefly pre-show, but like this stuff that we got is like an era that's not going to come around again, and we're like the last generation that has like a lot of nostalgia for this, and the younger generations are, we have like the 90s kids who like Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles, but they're also PlayStation and Tamagotchi kids, and then it's just all video games, right? Video game collecting, and now it's trading cards and online stuff. Like,
have a criminally get in there.
It's just gonna, again, like slowly. Nostalgia is going to be different, and it's like we were talking earlier. We go to a toy store now, and it's all Pokemon, Ninja Turtles, some He-Man, but it's moving to a like 90s Power Ranger stuff. It's moving on from what is just not our generation anymore. So I used to go into a toy store and just littered with stuff that I'd want, and they got to make money, so they have to shift their inventory to what people with that income are buying now, what the no nostalgia is. And it's a little disheartening, but look, that is the nice display. So cool.
You got these at Daiso. This stand was like $1 at Daiso. I don't know if y'all have
any Daisos near me.
It's like a Japanese import dollar store.
I just hold mine like this, and I just, please, sir, give me more. Oh, and I dropped one. That's why I have.
Josh, I'm going to ask you, do you know who ended up with that Village Toys mini bot that was the gorilla that turned into like almost like a Porsche or something like that. There was one on eBay, and there was a whole bunch of people on one of the Facebook forums that was like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?"
Village Toys is a mystery to me, as is a lot of things that come out of Korea back then. You know, or they were just knockoffs or they're licensed. It's really such a gray area with some of this stuff. Like,
I don't know. A lot of the Select stuff ended up, after they were having problems with Mark, ended up moving to Korea. Ironically, about the same time that the Shin company with Village Toys started doing stuff in Korea, which was at the same time that they ended up with the mini bot molds that Select had. And so I'm wondering if that was like a backroom agreement or something.
I feel like Korean toys, and I've talked about years ago, I was kind of way into them, but like it is sort of like a weird like last frontier. All these companies like Academy and Sonicon and Young Toy and all of that, like it really is sort of like the last frontier of like discovery for us. Like the stuff that they're doing now with the giant, like I forget the name of the lines, but these really awesome giant combiners, Tobot type stuff, you know, like incredibly well made, super
metal
cool,
card bot,
virtually unknown, like in the US, like and like that is, if it wasn't so expensive to ship it over, I'd buy this stuff right from Korea. But like when I basically just see them in H Mart and I go, I don't want to pay $100 for that, kind of a thing.
It almost makes you want to go, I'll just buy a plane ticket and shove it in my suitcase, leave all my clothes there.
It might even be cheaper at this point. I don't know what the Korean won's doing to compared to the US dollar, but right now the Japanese yen is ridiculous to the USD. So I'm almost considering getting one off of the Japanese auction site with that discount and having it shipped over. It probably still will come out cheaper.
I almost went to Japan the other day just on spur of the moment because they had, I don't know how they had it, but they had a flash sale for round trip flights from Houston to Tokyo was like $800.
Wow.
And I went, I want to do that. I don't have the $800. I don't have the money to spend once I'm there.
When I first went to Japan in 2003, that's about what I paid then. So like that's
what I paid at the gas station out here in California.
Right?
I've seen Japan on a map.
Can I pay with these?
Would you like my firstborn?
And what's interesting too, like just in terms of, we're talking about like collections, and like at least Transformers have like, if I brought my collection of this to a toy store, right? I mean, like here I have all these boxed Japanese mark, like they're gonna be like, well, those knockoffs, I can't, well, I don't know, I could do $5, right? Like and for us, like we're like, we'll throw down like 50, 60, $70 to get like a boxed version of these, but the only people we're going to sell it to are the 4 people on this webcam.
Right. That's the problem I have with converters is people are constantly like, oh, are those knockoff Transformers? I'm like, okay, I understand what you mean when you say that, and it's not the same thing I think you mean, but no, they're not. Not only are they fully licensed, they're just as good. Okay, put that down.
That's what's aggravated me since I started doing the GoBot reviews. There's all these people, Temu Transformers, poor kid Transformer, nothing but Transformers knockoffs. I'm like, no, they're not. I've had so many. Oh, go ahead.
He's doing a Bigfoot impersonation.
Yeah. Well, again,
you got to keep gasoline off the lens, man.
I'll get clear again. Okay.
There he is.
At the end of the day, I thought it was just me, Looking at
Machine Robo is solid. Those are quality.
Well, I've had so many people make the comments that when I started doing my GoBot reviews, I never changed the way I review a figure. If you watch my Transform reviews, I treat the GoBots the exact same way. And there were so many people that was surprised when I switched over. It's like, wow, we thought you were going to shit on them, and you just went into it like a regular toy review. Like, well, that's what I do.
Don't get such a bad rap, and they're so fun to hold on to. And my first taste of like a paradigm shift with GoBots is I went to an auction in like 2009 in Pennsylvania. It was this big collector getting a bunch of stuff out, and one of the lots was boxed Machine Robos, and we're like, oh, there was like 40 of them, and I'm like, I'll throw like $300-400 at this lot, and I think it went for like $6,000, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? These were GoBots. I didn't think anybody. I thought I was just going to walk away with a song and dance, and no, they went for a lot, and they've just been escalating. A carded, nice GoBot, like they're like $100, like if not, you know. And people get them graded now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
depending on the GoBot, but
that's why I got into converters.
Yeah.
And I, you know, converters was one of those markets where it's like one or two people that get in it that are trying to do a complete collection. Like me, I was like, oh, I'll just get everything. Boy, I accidentally drove up that market.
Do you think you'll ever get into like grading? I'm not a grading guy, but like, do you think we'll see graded converters on a market? Like everybody's grading everything, like VHS tapes and like, I don't know.
Got one. Let me see.
Okay, of course you do.
If none of us are doing it, I don't know who would.
All right, I want to see
Besides,
which one
I
you
love
always
having
gonna
these
be
in a
that
bin
one guy.
rattling around.
Yeah, I mean, I generally like these because as a rule, I can just pick them up and fiddle with them and not mess with them. Most of them, like when you get, like you can't take this guy out of the box; he will explode. It's made entirely of that blue plastic.
This one's on the wait list to be graded.
Okay.
And
that looks clean.
It is sealed. It is shiny.
Is that like factory shrink wrap, or is that?
That one I put the shrink wrap on there to protect it, just as an added layer.
Wow.
But he's waiting, like he's never been opened, even without even without the
grading is dumb.
Yeah,
but I'm like
okay.
I get it from a preservation standpoint, but I don't get it from a speculator like resale standpoint where everybody.
No. That's not getting resold. But I saw that and went, that is the cleanest card I have ever seen on a converter. And the guy gave it to me. He's like, here, I'll, because you're gonna grade it, I'll give you a discount on it. I'm like, okay.
Mm.
So it's a good find, man.
Yeah, it's sitting on the wait list right now.
Nice. Well,
this guy you could find, digging up your garden.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like the mini bots. I like most.
I do too.
We're mini bot friends.
Hey.
You know what one blows my mind is the one with two heads. I have them. I didn't bring them out.
I felt like I had to hold up a red robot too.
We should have like all right, show me a blue robot, and you got to scramble around and hooks at the blue robot first,
Is going to be this guy. So he turns into
yeah.
But he's got his front fenders flip up. He's got two heads.
Yeah, wild. He was in the same series as this guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that one's the Mustang. I don't know what this one is, but
is he like a punch counter punch kind of thing?
Or what was the Rack and Ruin?
Rack and Ruin,
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna share another couple of obscurities that not converters, but like
nice.
He's never made it over the train robot or the F-15 or whatever it is.
So the F-15. So before Select released converters, Mark released 4 of the those quick change robos through a company in Dallas called Excite. Okay, so they released the Tomcat. They released the I got them right here. Let me see. Yeah. So you have 4 of them. So you had that one was Lifter, and he's a crane truck, and then you had the so cleverly named Hauler, and he's a dump truck, and then you had the fire truck Sparky.
Okay? It wasn't this.
Oh, nice! I love that one. But so those 3 got released in all regions, and then in America, in Japan, you had the F-14 Tomcat. Okay, and then in Japan and Europe, you had the tanker lorry.
Yep, I have a few of those.
And then the last one was a Japanese exclusive, which was the Shinkansen. And mine's sealed. I didn't put them in here.
Another couple of obscure favorites I like is these. Is Mark or Maruka? Yeah, Mark. The wrist robos, the watches that had those things cool. And probably my favorite things that Mark ever made were these, the little monster heads, the Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, and they transform. I don't think these ever made it out of Japan, but I mean, the artwork in these are just astounding.
Are you sure those are Mark and not Markuda?
Oh, shut up! You're right. but they're spiritual cousins.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, they make the candy toys. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love those transforming heads, the skull, the big skull. Those are it all those.
It all blends together.
Markuda also had a line of transforming wrist watch robos.
Yeah. Also. I have the wrist robos, but then they did like weirdly different ones. I think this guy comes from one of those. It's like
the bubble car helicopter.
It's like a helicopter where there's a roulette wheel and a compass inside. You know, it's the weirdest thing. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I think I found this guy loose, and it took me a long time to figure out. Like, it feels like a Mark toy, a Converters toy, but like again, it's got like a roulette wheel and a compass on it. Like, why? Yeah. Why not?
I'm so jealous. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
If you want kind of an untapped resource to get them, check the website auctions in France.
Oh, really?
Because most of the Mark stuff got released in Europe a lot. Italy got a ton of it.
Yeah.
So Italy and France. Yeah, like a bubble car helicopter. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? That's a real car.
Okay.
It was like a one-off production model where they made a helicopter commuter car. It was.
But did they put a roulette table inside of it? Because you need the roulette table in your moving vehicle for some reason.
Yeah.
For when you want to go take a spin.
Right. Take it for a spin. Look at you. Yeah, but there was maybe there was just no room for two roulette robots in one toy line, right? The whole scene with the slot machine, the pinball machine, Pinbot. There was a roulette one. Was there one more?
So there was a knockoff of the roulette machine that was a dice box. It was a red knockoff, but it wasn't a real licensed one.
Those are fun too.
Bandit's my favorite. Like, that's probably my favorite one because I just sit there and like spin him all day long. I just love that little.
Well, I'm going to do the pledge thing again because like he's one of the ones for me that doesn't stand up because he's a little top heavy and his legs are a little loose. Like people I used to know.
Yeah, you should share that joint trick now that we're live to the world.
Oh yeah,
the special sauce you had.
Jason.
Yes, sir.
He's talking to you.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
You had that special sauce for the joint repair. What was that?
Oh, yeah.
You were sharing in the chat before we went live.
Sorry. Pledge floor polish.
Are you going to get it graded?
I have been using this bottle for years. I might need to. I don't even think they make this anymore.
No, they don't. They changed the recipe just after it got famous for joint repair.
Like, so you have to go on eBay to find a vintage bottle of it.
Probably.
And then
do you think they're going to be like
graded? They have a graded bottle of it if you want.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to be like kitchen utensil collectors in another 50 years or something like that?
This is a collector.
Like, how absurd is this going to get?
Right.
Let's get coming off the rails because we're nearing the end of the time. Because I'm going to have to hop off here in a minute.
Yeah.
That's when it gets weird.
Guys, I've enjoyed you guys.
Did anyone in the chat have any questions? I mean, I'd probably not.
Let's open it up to chat for any. If anyone's going to drop at the time, totally fine. But yeah, we could take some. We could take some chat questions. I saw someone asking about where was he? Something about overseas and who licensed. Any idea who Hero Gross France licensed their converters from?
Ooh, okay. So maybe Mark. That's going to be my best guess is Mark because the Hergos ones showed up at the same time that the Robot Changers came about. And I don't know if Robot Changers was a branch of Select releasing in Europe and Australia, or if that was Mark using Select's patterns and card
I've always
backs.
wondered about, like, did and you would know this because you've done the research on Select. Did Select form as a company and go, we need to get some robots who's got molds that we can use, or did Mark somehow it was involved in the creation of Select as a distribution channel for their things?
Select formed in '82, okay, and they were doing, I think they were doing door-to-door dental equipment sales, and somehow, I mean, it was the '80s and the robot toy wars were in boom. Everybody and their dog wanted to get robot toys, right?
Money, basically.
Yeah. What I think happened, and I might be, this is just speculation. I think that either Mark contacted Select or vice versa, but Select took the shipments from Mark on COD. They took them on consignment, and they'd pay Mark once they sold because they wanted to get it out by Christmas. And so the toys were on the boat headed for America before the deal was even signed.
So there's it's a weird story like what Bandai America, when they brought like the big DX Chigokin stuff over, they literally unpacked them from their Japanese boxes and then repackaged them in the Bandai boxes, the early ones, and shipped them out. Like, I wonder if that is the same thing that happened. Like, they came out like in the Mark packaging, and they were literally dudes in a warehouse unpacking them and vacuum sealing them on the cards and shipping them out again. Or
maybe because that first wave was going to be the Dorvat guys and the Sasu Rider, and then it was going to be the Orgus guys, and that showed up. But I've got ads from retailers in November that have the mini bots, so I don't know if that was how quickly they updated that.
I also love that one of my weird discoveries about that conversion was that they actually used, like, on the back of these things, they have like the little illustrations on how to transform them, and a lot of that was used directly on those packaging too. Like, so there was just kind of goes like how close they were, like, working together to use those assets in the packaging and everything.
Sometimes I wander around and I make the sounds that they convert with, like a bon gun gugun.
Jesse, has anyone seen a converter from Mark with the original Japan sticker sheets on a blister card? I don't know.
From Mark.
Hey, real quick, I got to head out.
All right.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed it. I mean, for those of you watching us live, we were on here an hour before it even started running our mouth. So this was a great time hanging out with you dudes. I love meeting new people via YouTube, and hopefully we can do this again. Megan, have you on my channel sometime. We'll talk Transformers.
Absolutely. It's been great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us, man. It was really cool.
You're welcome. Great to see some of you guys in the chat, and you guys have a great night. And I'm going to go on eBay because I want a Tentacus. I just looked him up. The spider, he looks pretty cool.
Nice. All right, man.
Well, you have a good night.
Soon.
See ya.
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Hooah!
Awesome. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up soon too. But if we have any last minute chats, we definitely can hang out for a few to answer them. But I wouldn't use me as the reference of record because clearly I'm having early age Alzheimer's or maybe a little bit of dementia.
I just want to point out real quick, if anyone's interested, I'm still working on it, but the site that is up right now is converters.info.
Yes. What do you site? Are you going to catalog or do you feel like that has been done because of the Liberator?
Well, so I need to talk to Avon about this, and I'd like to get something with his help because he's got such an extensive catalog. But I don't want his site to just go down randomly, so I'd like to maybe have it used as a backup or something like that. Right now, I've got catalogs, or not a complete catalog, but under the Legacy tab, I've got a large selection of what of what they had. So there's converters. I got Muscle Mania. I got Ninja Assassin, which was great. I love Ninja Assassin. It's kind of like their G.I. Joe. Cassie, which was a singing doll to compete with Gem. And then Select actually produced their own video game system, which was called the Video Challenger. And I found that out recently, and I was like, whoa, that blows my mind on that too.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm clicking through that right now. I had no idea.
Did you drop that link in the the live stream chat?
I'm gonna put that.
No, let me put it there now. It's converters.info. I mean, that was the quickest, easiest way.
That out for sure.
What I'd like to do is, because like I said, I'm working with people to try and do some, raising of funds, but I need people to be like, oh, hey, I'm excited about this. I remember converters. I like converters, and just get some word of mouth out there. Because right now it's sort of a back rooms kind of thing. And
was there ever any TV advertising for converters?
Maybe.
Okay.
So
it's a solid maybe.
Up on there if you could track that down.
I'm not sure we can. So what happened was Toys R Us, in order to get into Toys R Us, you had to have a television commercial. They wouldn't just pull anybody's toy. Okay. Yeah. And so what happened was quite often companies would air toy commercials in a market, and they would air it one time at like 4 a.m. And so that's I think what happened with Robotron or Chargertron. Chargertron had that.
Chargertrons, yeah.
And it aired because Select had New York offices. I think that they probably had that where they aired it on like WGBX or something like that at 4 a.m. The odds of finding it would not be great. I haven't come across it. Yeah, but it would make sense because Toys R Us had that requirement that it had to have a commercial that at least one exists.
That is that's something that you want to put a bounty out for. Like
yeah.
There's
a Reddit out there watching, and you have a VHS of that commercial.
There's a Reddit forum called Lost Media, and it's all about people looking for things that we know exist but have not found. It'd be an interesting thing to post that and see if anyone can track it down.
I will tell you the one I'm excited for. So I don't know why the fallout happened, but in '86, Select was supposed to release their new wave of converters, which was going to be humanoid converters, and it was going to be the beasts and the insects. They released them in France called Fighting Insects and Fighting Reptiles. It's got the Select stamps on them, and it's got the Select trademarks. Select had the trademark. It didn't get released. I know that there was at one point in time a mock-up, a production sample of the Fighting Insects, Fighting Reptiles on the Select Converters card back. I can't find it. And I know that they had that because Savvy in France used the converter production art and just brought it over and took the converter's name off of it. But it's the same pattern. It's got like the converter, you know how converter says up in the corner and it's got like the red band. Yeah, it just says like Savvy and then just a red banner. I'm like, that's the converters thing. Like, I know what you guys did. You just use a copier.
I used to have the Japanese box, one of the snake one that was pretty. I had a few of those that were great, but again, you decide I'm not into this right now, and you get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't come out. I don't know what the holdup was. I kind of wish it had, because converters had such potential to keep going, and they just sort of didn't have the motivation, which is kind of sad, you know.
The mark stuff, like they relied on all the mark stuff largely, right? So then once that dried up, they had to find new stuff, basically.
Right.
You know?
And they did try that because they were actually at the '87 Toy Fair. And that's where they were advertising Cassie, which was like a gem doll, and she had a bass that you plug the karaoke microphone into it, and the doll would actually like move her mouth and sing while you sing. And I would love to find some footage of that '87 Toy Fair, but they closed in '88. I guess they too little, too late, you know.
All right, I think we're gonna maybe wrap it up. Do you guys want to promo anything? Like, where can we find you guys online? I know we've mentioned some websites. We want to do some, social media stuff. You guys can, Sam, if you want to go first, or
yeah, you can find me usually if I'm on forums anywhere. This is my screen name, but I will. If you want to follow what I'm doing, you can follow me on Instagram, Converters HQ. You can check out the website is converters.info. I have a link section with everything. At this exact moment, if it asks you to sign up for an email, please don't, because it's dumping it out into the ether and I don't know where it's going and I haven't fixed it yet. I know that Jason is on YouTube at Patriot Prime, so be sure to follow him.
I'm easy. I'm just on YouTube. If you search for Select Converters on YouTube, or if you just Google it, there'll probably be a couple of my 15-year-old videos on there. But I am still making them. Never stop until I run out.
Same here. I mean, you guys know what channel you're on. CollectionDX, my handle, pretty much on all the things. I'm not doing as much as I used to, but I'm still around, and you know, check all the things out if you want. Yeah, enjoy toys. That's all I'm saying. Enjoy toys.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Man, Sam, thanks for putting this together. This has been really fun. Thanks everybody for watching.
To Sam for getting this all together. It would not have happened if not for your urging to get us all together. And I would love to do it again. And we'll maybe pick another obscure topic, or when we have more info, we can do a part 2. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, dudes. Have a good night. I'm going to end the stream. Sayonara.
Bye.
Stream is ended.
Hooray!
All right. Man, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was great.
Yeah.